Welcome to Behavioral Health in the New Normal, a podcast developed by Prestige Community Resources, aimed at bringing healing back to our community through knowledge, expert advice, and positive messaging. The show is a joint venture between the Department of Behavioral Health and Prestige Community Resources, funded by SAMHSA in response to the challenges currently impacting our communities. Hosted by Paul Wells Sr., who uses over 30 years of extensive clinical social work experience to conduct insightful interviews with experts and professionals on a wide range of topics that impact the Washington, D.C. community. From behavioral health crisis to education to financial hardship and anything in between. This show will provide information and insights that will surely make a difference in your life.
DMB, boy, am I excited today. Prestige has found an expert in fashion, and we're going to really talk about the fashion industry and a small business owner who's going to navigate us through the trials and tribulations of managing a profession and business during the pandemic. Before I introduce the guest, I just want to remind everyone this is a collaboration between Prestige Community Resources and the Department of Mental Health here in Washington, D.C. And the intent is to just describe and educate everyone around just successes and challenges associated with the pandemic. And as you know, all industries, all businesses, all families have been impacted, and we want to tell the story. And telling the story, hopefully we'll get some solutions and some strategies on how to overcome and survive this critical time. Ms. McQueen, we welcome you. How are you this morning?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
No, you're representing McQueen, the McQueen brand. Let me just tell the audience you're a fashion designer, a celebrity stylist, a photographer, and we hope that you're going to share with us today how you pursued your dream and what that looks like. I know you travel a lot as you pursue your business activity, and we want to know what kind of precautions you take and what experience and what you're hearing from other people, your customer base, how has it impacted them. So why don't we start with the beginning, where you were born, how things started, how did you get into the industry, and why don't we just start with where were you born?
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm from Bennettsville, South Carolina, town about this big. You
Okay.
know, I started fashion just by watching my aunt and my mom like sew and alter dresses and things like that. That's what piqued my interest. I would watch my aunt. I used to live with her when I was little.
I see.
I would watch her put this big piece of, I guess it was paper or it was something big on the
Mm-hmm.
ground, watch her cut the patterns and, you know, all kind of stuff. So I thought it was cool. It's like, man, I want to do that. And then I would see her like, fit women for dresses for prom. And I was like, man, I want to do that. So I started cutting my own clothes and, making my own things, creating my own little
Right.
fashion.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where what piqued my interest in fashion. And then as I got older and headed to middle school, I would, cut things and make things for myself because my mom couldn't afford to buy me what I wanted,
Yes.
so I started to make my own stuff.
Okay.
And my friends used to always say, hey, where'd you get that? And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, I made it. And then that's how it became a business because they wanted me to make things for them. And I was smart. It's like, well, you have to give me something, some candy, some
Mhm.
money, something
I ain't
for
mad at
me to make
you.
this. So, and that's just kind of how it, got started.
Okay.
Skipped school,
Mhm.
every class but clothing design. And then my
Ah.
teacher was basically like, you can't continue to do this. We know you're not going to class. You're only
Mhm.
coming to this class. So that's just kind of
Okay.
like
So from the very
where it started.
beginning, you were influenced by auntie, and so you had some genetic predisposition. I mean, it was in the blood. It was going right through your aunt's veins to you, and that exposure, I guess, really germinated an interest and a passion in you. So you knew very early on that this is kind of the area that you want to focus and apply your talents and your skill. And you had talent and skill early on. Your family noticed it. They started pulling on you. And you were smart enough to say, hey, you know what? Let me turn this into a brand and a business. Let me get some money while I'm doing this.
Yeah,
There's nothing better than being able to merge a business interest with a passion, right? Uh,
right.
and so you, I guess you go through grammar school, middle school, and you get through high school, and then what? How does this brand and industry, how do you master this?
I've always been a hustler. I always
Mm,
know I'm gonna make some money no matter what I do, where I
mhm,
go. Even when I got to college, I was doing the same thing, just making pieces on the side, not going to class and making clothes. I got my first sewing machine for Christmas early, and
okay.
I don't remember how I got it to college with me. Somebody either bought it to me or I just don't remember. But I had a sewing machine there, and that's how I was making side money, like just
What school
make.
did you attend? What college was that?
Lewisburg College. It was in
Uh,
North Carolina. No, it's
Okay,
in yeah, Lewisburg, Virginia.
Lewisburg,
Yeah,
Virginia.
small college.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you got a lot of attention because I'm sure there were a lot of outlets there. So you,
yeah, it's
you,
just like
yeah.
Bennettsville.
So you were
Nothing.
the to-go person.
Hmm.
How did you advertise? I mean, how did they know your style and your brand? Did you advertise and did you have like a website or?
Well, you said you know my cousin Tania,
Yeah,
right? She's very
yeah.
outgoing, and I think of our family. I was outgoing,
Okay.
outspoken, and people just kind of gravitated towards me, So there was no promotion behind it. It wasn't actually a business. It was just more so word of mouth. A lot of people just like, oh, well, she does that. Well, let's see how much she will charge us to do this. So, and that's just how I built the name, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
me.
We do know your cousin. We've had Nadia McQueen on the show. She's the director of our housing uh, service at Prestige. And you're absolutely right. If you have a personality trait and style like hers, it just, you just, people naturally would gravitate to you. And I
Hmm.
feel that energy right now. And that's really a part of, I guess, your business plan strategy that you use yourself. You are your brand and that energy and your passion gets conveyed to people just in the conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, and I just really believe like, you never know who will open a door for you. So you just always have to be kind to people and don't be afraid to speak. You never know what type of influence you can have on a person just by
look at
speaking
that.
and, just saying hello. You don't know what a person is carrying. So you always need to be kind and
That
help
is
people.
so true. That is so
Um,
true.
I, I I believe that. I stand on that, and that's what I do. I live it daily. Like, I can walk into a room full of strangers and I'm gonna touch somebody. I know
Wow,
that.
that's good. Being aware of how impactful you can be and how you can positively contribute to someone's moment is remarkable. Listen to this though. So you graduated with what degree? What was the
I
degree?
I didn't graduate at all. I didn't. No,
You
I was
decided,
so
look at
yeah, so focused on making money.
yeah.
Um, and this is another thing. Like I know, like college isn't for everybody.
Hmm.
School, everybody. A lot of parents and a lot of adults push college as an agenda on kids, and that's another thing too. Like I want to
Hmm.
focus on creating a center around creative careers. A lot of people don't understand that college isn't for everybody.
That's right. That's right.
Not, not everybody's built for it. You
That's right.
might have very creative and don't know how to pretty much gear that energy towards it being a business or career. So I definitely this year want to focus on getting that off the ground, creating a center catered to not creative activities, but creative careers like maybe hairstyle and brand owning, DJ and
All of
fashion,
that.
all
Absolutely.
all of
Yeah.
it under one umbrella,
I'm glad
just
you
to
shared that with the
for
audience. Yeah, because we do put undue pressure on certain people to go through this traditional direction in life, and we know that many of the most successful people take a non-traditional route that wasn't
Yeah.
scripted. They created their own progression. So when you left school, what did you do then? I mean, how did you continue your fashion interest and
I,
application?
when I left school, I just worked. I just worked and I just kind of got in a way settled on making money, and to the point where it was just like, you know what, I can't do this. This is not what I want. I don't like, I wouldn't say structure. I don't like answering to people.
Mhm.
It does allow me to be creative, you know. So I think it was, gosh, I had my son. I had my
Mm.
son. That's when I kind of like put myself back into the mind frame that I gotta break these cycles. I gotta just get out there and do more. And that's when I start focusing on my career. Start doing
Okay.
more fashion shows. Start connecting with some of the people that I met in college because they were on a path. Um, and start putting my pieces in fashion shows. At first, I was just kind of like a little skeptical about it and just not confident in myself as far as like what my pieces would look like on the runway.
Yeah.
I met this lady. I was working a home healthcare job, and her name was Miss Cassie. Miss Cassie was in the industry, and she had a daughter who was major in the industry, Lisa Bonds. I'll never forget her because they helped me get that confidence back. She put me on a major platform with
Okay.
Runway. She told me I can do it. She said, you know, this stuff looks good and you
Mm.
did this on the social media, you can do this. Um, so
You said you said her
at
name was
first she
Miss
wanted,
Cassie. Miss Cassie.
yeah, Miss
Shout out
Cassie.
to Miss
Yeah.
Cassie. We appreciate you. Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Miss Cassie was in the process of moving, and she said, "I don't know why I'm here, why I'm still here." I said, "Miss Cassie, I believe you're here for me." She was like, "You know what? You might be right." So I cared for her. I think it was a week, and then a week later she moved. But she introduced me to her daughter, who was doing this major fashion production in Colombia.
Okay.
Um, and she was telling me, you should be a model, you should be a model. And I said, okay, I'll try it out. But everybody knows me, I'm such a tomboy, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
And for me to put on heels and walk across the runway, that was different. But it
Yeah.
was me stepping into my purpose, me stepping into my faith.
Look at that.
So whenever, you know, I went and I auditioned, immediately they said, no, you can't do this. You
Mhm.
not good. And I was like, no, just give me a chance. I'm gonna do it. And then they gave me a runway coach, Lolita Frazier. Hey, Lo, I love Lo.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Shout out.
and Lo was just like, I can't work with you. This is a major fashion show. This, you know, I said, no, I'm gonna do this. Let's do some private lessons. And
Okay.
she was like, whoa, you're determined. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do this. And then that's when, you know, pretty much they discovered, you know, I was determined. And then I started to talk more about my fashion. Well, I can make this, I could make that. And they said, you could bring me some pieces, let us see. So at
Well,
this
then,
time,
dear, what can I just be to help the discussion? What specifically? Where's your clothing focus? Is there a certain type of um, style or category that
it,
you
it
you
is.
work in?
And I just kind of realized that like 2 days ago, my focal point
What is it?
is statement pieces, pieces that are,
Statement pieces. Okay.
yeah, pieces that are that you may see like Vogue wise, like Vogue magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're pieces that allow you to just kind of like feel, not just like see it as fashion. I really
Okay.
believe fashion isn't what you wear, it's what you feel. So
Okay.
they're, you know, expressive. They're
Okay.
just off the wall type
Okay.
pieces.
So
Yeah.
that could fall in the category of leisure, casual, and formal. I mean, do you hit the
Yeah,
whole spectrum?
it really could. It really could.
Okay. Okay. Now tell me, so what does your work life look like now? I understand you do a lot of traveling to promote your brand. I guess you're doing fashion shows and consulting with other designers. And what does your work life look like now?
It's chaotic.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's chaotic. For the most part, you have to be safe. A lot of things that we did before we can't do now.
Example,
And
what were some of those things?
fashion shows for one, you
Okay.
can't
Oh, yes.
start putting together fashion shows, and a lot of income came from the production. You know,
Okay.
so you have to like you're forced to be creative to use the internet more, virtual shows, which is not as fun and as thrilling as the actual fashion show.
Because you can't really engage with the audience. You can't
Yeah,
really get the feedback and the immediate feedback and the feel of and the reaction, right?
thrilling. Yeah,
Because a
so
fashion show is interactive, right? You're interacting with the crowd, with the audience.
yeah, and you get to actually feel that energy in the
Yeah.
building. You do that over the internet.
Prior to the pandemic, how many shows might you do in a 12-month period?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Okay, that's a lot. And so since the pandemic, that has gone from 3 to 4 to zero
Yeah,
live fashion shows
haven't done any fashion shows.
for the last, how long has it been now?
What, 6 months?
Long time, right?
Yeah.
And so you've had to modify your focus and vision and your planning to another platform.
Yeah, and which isn't a problem because the McQueen's brand, we have a lot of different things going on under that umbrella. And I'm also a brand manager for another company, Just Trap Clothing. So it
Okay.
has hard. Um, I have a magazine that I'm focused on. I style a lot of different celebrities. So I've been able to keep busy, and I've been able to be a platform for other people, other brands outside of Just Trap brand, but being able to reach these people and put their clothing on these different celebrities or these different influencers. So it's been different not to be able to do fashion shows, but by us having such a wide umbrella, we been able to stay busy.
What has it been like working with some of the celebrities? You know, there's some uniqueness to that, those relationships. Of course, confidentiality and privacy, I'm sure it's a part of it.
Yeah.
But there's a heightened expectation and pressure to give a good product when you have a celebrity as your customer. What's that been
Yeah,
like? Is that does
to
that
me,
interfere with your creativity? Because sometimes I would imagine they tell you what they want.
no, and that's the difference between me and other companies.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna
tell me.
be
Uh-huh.
able to be my creative self and be expressive. That's a part of our, NDA. But when I first started, it was very, very exciting because a girl coming from Businessville, South Carolina, is just like, oh, yes, I see these people on TV. But
Yeah,
now it's just like, well, after that first experience, I understand and I know they're just people like me, you know, um, people who are further along in their career,
yeah,
and to be I'm not going to say a celebrity, but I want to be in that position where I'm free in my career and I don't have to kind of like put a stipulation on what I can and what I can't do.
yeah.
So that's where they are now. At first it was a lot of excitement. Now it's just like, work. I just have to make sure I give them the best product and the best quality and the best experience they had shooting with anybody.
That's
So
right.
I definitely ask them questions like what type of music they like to listen to, and what type of vibe, so that whenever we are shooting, I have
Mhm.
their music and everything is just like good energy. It's so far so good. Like I haven't come across a celebrity with bad energy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it speaks to you. I think the energy that you cultivate and the environment that you're creating really almost dictates that positive energy stays in the room and you guarantee it.
Mhm.
So tell me when you're doing your photography stuff and you're interfacing with any customers, how is the pandemic? What adjustments have you had to make now that there's this pandemic? I know face masks, social distancing. Are there other precautions you've had to take?
Yeah, you definitely have to take the standard precautions, but having to take a COVID test and have my staff take a COVID test before we actually congregate into a building, before they enter that space, everybody has to show me a negative COVID test. Um, And it's because, you know, I still have a family to go back home to and people to care for. So I can't put them at risk. Um,
How recent does the test, what date has to be posted on that test? Has it been within 3 days or 1 week?
yeah, within
Okay.
5 days. Yeah.
Did you say you have
Yeah.
a staff? Did I hear you say you have a team?
Yeah, I do. I have a
You
team.
pay people.
Yeah. And, you know, we pay each other.
Yeah, that's good. That's some good stuff. So you make sure your team is tested regularly, and especially before you assume a project, whether it's a face-to-face contact. What about the
Yeah.
customers? Do you require testing on that side?
No, I don't require them testing, but I require them to always, wear a mask, and when we're not shooting, um, just, take standard precautions. Yeah.
Okay.
And no
Um,
bringing extra guests when you come to a shoot. Um, it's just, let's handle our business and let's keep it moving.
so I imagine you do have to travel from place to place, city to
Yeah.
city.
And
And
that
so what's that
costly
been?
too.
Say that
Yeah.
again. It's
That's
costly.
too. Yeah, because when I fly, I have to buy the extra seat next to me so that nobody's sitting next to me. Um,
Hmm.
so
Is that
and
is that a self-imposed requirement, or is that a requirement of the industry? What's
no, that's just something I do for myself to protect me and my
okay?
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to purchase two airline seats every
Mm-hmm.
time you go to
Yeah.
and you travel how many times a month would you say by
Woo.
plane? It's a constant, like
Yeah.
every week you're somewhere
I'm
else?
not gonna say every week because if I could drive, I try. I drive to Atlanta a lot, but
Okay.
California, it's been almost every month
Oh,
since
wow.
the pandemic. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, you getting it. That's good. Okay. But it's costly and it's something you have to put in your operating budget.
I
Um,
do. I
yeah,
do.
and it definitely takes away from any profits because that's costly. Yeah.
No, I just adjust the my prices. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Makes
I make adjustments so that everything is budgeted out right.
okay. Um, so you're a photographer, you're a stylist, you're a fashion designer. Um, what is the vision for your company? Where would you like to see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years as a company?
I definitely want to go international this year. Me and my team left. We're city girls this year, but next year our focus is going to Canada and putting on a production in Canada. We definitely want to go international. Um, I do image consulting and brand consulting as well to just kind of like give people the information that they need to get their brand and their image off the ground.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of rappers too.
Okay.
But as far as the McQueen's brand in general, I definitely want the magazine to be doing numbers. I want to be able to put on a major show like New York Fashion Week. Just in a more creative setting. And I work with a lot of Black designers, so I definitely want to be a platform for them. Um, I want to have a home base out of the country. I do.
Right. Right.
10
Right.
years from now.
Yeah, yeah, no, I respect your vision and your progression. You're very committed to this, and that's wonderful. Oh, that vision you have and the determination. You use the word. There's two words you use a couple of times: determination and money. Determination and money. Man, you use money probably 5 times, and I'm okay with that because we got to feed our family, and there is some purpose in all the work we're putting in. Speaking of family, what's your son's name? What's your son's first name?
Oh, his name is Kyrie.
Kyrie. How old is Kyrie now?
Kyrie's 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you balance being a parent with all of this business activity, travel, and your itinerary is full
Mhm.
all the time? How do you manage all of that?
Oh man, I have a strong support system. My mom, my aunt, Kyrie's dad. But Kyrie, he sacrifices the most. So um he he's like always with me and he's always learning. And I'm throwing the camera in his hand, like, here, you need to learn how to do this. So I'm teaching him. He travels with me a lot. So sometimes I have to buy 3 seats,
Yeah, that's
on the
right.
plane.
Okay.
Um, and we have a whole day of work. And then
Mhm.
like the next day, I'm like, all right, figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is I turned it into a learning experience. Like, okay, you figure out where you want to go, but you got to tell me why you want to go there. And you got to tell me what we're going to see there and why you want to see it. You got to give me 3 facts on this place we're going to go. Like if we go to
Okay.
California, he said, okay, well, we're going to LA, but I want to go to San Diego. He has to tell me 3 facts about San Diego that I didn't know, you know.
How aware is he of COVID-19? Is he really in touch and sensitive to being
Yes,
safe? He is.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
He's actually back in school. And we had a scare where he was exposed.
Mhm.
So, it kind of like, shook him up a little bit. And not just that, like he's really good at sports. He plays basketball. So that's affected. He's not, able to play AAU basketball. So his life has been affected as well. And we have conversations,
Yeah.
about why he has to take his vitamins and why he has to do this. So yeah, he's aware.
Do you ever use him to display as a model or some of your
Well,
fashion? Have you
the,
used him in your photography?
the thing is, he has his own thing going on. He likes to rap. So he's done a
Okay.
couple of photo shoots and he's been able to get into his craft as well. I push it, but I also tell him like, you have to have a backup plan because
No.
you're more than likely to become a doctor than you are a rapper. Not killing his dreams or anything, but I buy the
That
equipment that he needs to, record his music and his beats. Um, I set up professional photo shoots for him, and
okay.
he
Okay.
has a style of his own. So
Mhm.
he dresses himself and he asks my opinion on things, but he has his own little thing going on that he's into. So
Okay.
I don't force anything on him. I just let him be the creative individual he is.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure that creativity is flowing in his veins as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll be
you
on
don't even
we'll
know.
we'll, we'll be on the we'll be on the lookout for him for sure. That's for sure. So how has the entertainment industry or the fashion industry changed since COVID-19? I mean, what's some of the
Man,
changes that you see kind of across the board?
it's a dog eat dog world out there. Everybody's up in their prices and even for services that you shouldn't have to pay for. It's crazy. It's
Mm,
crazy. The pandemic has changed a lot. But I also see a lot of businesses thriving and they're going toward leaning more towards that digital market, which is good, making
mhm.
adjustments. It's just been hectic. Everybody's trying to stay afloat. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them.
Oh no. In closing, has your bottom line been impacted? I mean, has this how's
In the
money?
beginning, it was, but you have to make adjustments in any type of situation, not just business, family life as well. In the beginning, financially we were hit hard because it's like, oh man, I wasn't prepared for this. But as you journey through the industry and you're passionate about what you do, you find a way. You
Yeah.
find a way. You build another. If they tell you no on this platform, you build another platform and you keep pushing. So yeah.
Sister Nadia, could you share some words of encouragement to any business owner who's in the struggle right now? Any message of hope you can deliver to the
Yes.
audience?
Yes, for sure. Pray about it
Pray
for
about.
one. Pray about it. And if it's still, something in your spirit, keep pushing forward and trust and have faith. If you have no faith, then you have nothing. You have to have faith and you have to move forward. No matter if you could
That's
see
right.
the
That's
way or
right.
not, you have
Nadia,
to always move forward.
yeah, Nadia McQueen with McQueen Brands. We appreciated the time and your transparency. Your story is powerful, and it should be empowering and uplifting to those who watch this podcast, listen to the
I hope
podcast.
so.
Uh, we wish you much success as you move forward in your profession and your career. greatness. I hear greatness. I sense greatness here.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. Thank you.
and, we want to make it clear that you put in the work. You're putting in the work. It's not by happenstance. It doesn't just fall in your lap, that you have been pursuing this dream very early age. And that's so
Yes.
respectful. Maybe we'll check in with you at some point in the future to see how things balance out at the end of this pandemic. But if not, we wish you much success. And to our audience, listen, if you want more information about who we are at Prestige, please visit our website at Prestige Community Resources. We thank you so much for joining this episode, and it has been a pleasure. Until next time, stay safe and be well.